Some more of yesterday's action. Let's start with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens just hammering the Broncos. What in particular did you like what you saw from Lamar?
Well, Green, he was breathing, so that's a starting point. He was at the game. One, the play-action pass continues to be an integral part of this offense. Two, Lamar has the rare connection right now where the in-rhythm passing game is absolutely spectacular, but he's still Lamar. And the out-of-structure playmaking ability, the touch on some of the throws down there is very much so still in his game. And so it's beautiful to see that development of in structure, in rhythm of the offense, is playing dominant football. No quarterback in the NFL right now playing better than Lamar Jackson.
And that's against the Denver defense that, albeit against far lesser competition, had been really good all year long. You know, Rex, on Sunday Countdown, we had an interesting discussion/debate where Teddy Bruschi was making the point they're not just going to be able to bludgeon their way to a Super Bowl. If they're going to get where they have not gotten it, all that Lamar is missing, he's got the MVPs, all that he's missing is getting that one more step. Can they ride their physical Derrick Henry back all that way, or is this the formula that they're going to need to get to the Super Bowl?
Well, part of riding Derrick Henry is the play action, heavying up the protection, which Lamar Jackson excels in.
Yeah.
So absolutely they can win a Super Bowl this way.
Yeah.
The only reason that anybody stays close to this team is because of their defense. This is the best offense in the league, them or Detroit. And so to me, I think Bruce totally wrong on this one. It's a tailback-driven thing, but the tailback allows you to play action. Everybody's going to be down to the party. Look, let's look at Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
He's had over 100 yards receiving 4 out of the last 5 games. 4 out of the last 5 games. All right? This team picks up Deontay Johnson just in case Zay Flowers, something happens to him. No, depth, everything else. This team right here, offensively, is scary as hell, and it's old-fashioned football. Yeah. Run the football, play action.
Yeah, I agree with it, Dan. There's just a part of me, I guess, that's afraid to trust because they were so clearly the best team in the AFC and the whole NFL last year, and fell apart at home in that AFC Championship game in the second half and lost it in so many different ways. There's a part of me that still just feels a little anxious about just committing and saying, oh, they're clearly the team to beat.
Well, it's rightfully so, and they were partly because of their defense. That's why they were the best team in football last year.
Yeah.
To Rex's point, that's the flaw of their football team this year. That's the hesitation. I think to point it out is important. The reason why you can win a Super Bowl with this formula if you're Baltimore is you could do whatever you want, whenever you want offensively. And that's what they and Detroit have in common. They could do whatever the defense is going to demand of you to do offensively, they're capable of doing it. That's different than years past.
All right, let's go to another contender in the AFC. Josh Allen and the Bills beating their division rival Dolphins on a 61-yard game winner from Tyler Bass. Yeah. We saw Josh Allen have another spectacular Josh Allen day. What do you see from Allen right now in particular?
Remarkable maturity. When defenses are going to force you to play that boring brand of ball and you got to be patient in the zones, dump the ball off, run our offense. And then when you got to be Superman 3 or 4 plays a game, go be Superman for those 3 or 4 plays a game. And that's the perfect spot. It's not all that dissimilar to what we were just saying about Lamar. Run the offense. That play is freaking remarkable, by the way, folks. Like that play wins them the game. I have no idea how he makes that throw, but it's the perfect combination of run the offense, and then when we need you to make plays like that, where only you and maybe 2 other 3, look at this freaking play. I mean, that's remarkable.
Yeah.
Green, he's the best red zone quarterback maybe of all time because of his legs and the way he can hold on to it. Like these throws, we just saw 2 of them right there.
That's not a normal play.
No, but it's normal for him.
Correct.
Like, here's the great thing. Last year, I thought he should have been the MVP of the league. I really do. All right? This year, he's had 10 fewer turnovers at this time. 10 fewer turnovers. The only 2 interceptions he's had, one, Amari Cooper slips that on a slant route, and then this one that should have been caught.
Off Coleman's chest.
Off Coleman's chest was an interception. Those are the only 2 interceptions he's had the whole time. So to me, this guy is an absolute beast.
So we've given MVP to a few different people already today alone. Are we giving it to Josh Allen?
That's my guy.
Okay.
Been my guy.
So for the 8 o'clock D's, Josh Allen is the MVP of the league. One more, another star quarterback. Let's talk about Joe Burrow and the Bengals. What a weird season they're having. He threw 5 touchdowns in a blowout win Well, you mean the sixth one that went to the other team?
Yes.
Oh, shush, Rex.
Fair enough. Anyway, can this team make the playoffs, Dan?
If they win Thursday night, yes. They play the Ravens in Baltimore Thursday night. I'd love to see them make trades. Specifically to Joe yesterday, I thought the pocket movement was the difference in the game. Joe Burrow's been fantastic all this season. I don't know how anybody sees Joe play this year and thinks otherwise, but he looked like vintage Joe Burrow yesterday with all the different playmaking, the pocket movement, the mechanics that were part of it. How about this? He's got 7 touchdowns this season of 25-plus yards, most in the NFL. He's got 5 of 40-plus yards, most in the NFL. This is offense without T. Higgins. They can score anywhere. The connection that he's got with Mike Gesicki has gone to a next level. Don't let this team get hot. The last 2 teams we've talked about, quarterback-wise, those are the 2 quarterbacks that I truly believe in my heart Kansas City doesn't want to see. Josh Allen and Joe Burrow.
Yeah, no, that's fair, because certainly Kansas City doesn't. He's beat them twice in the playoffs before.
Burrow has, yeah.
Burrow has. But to me, like, Lou Anarumo is doing a great job with nothing. This is a scout team defense that they're playing with. That's what scares me about Cincinnati. That's why I don't believe in them right now. I mean, coaching can take you so far, but, man, they are awful talent-wise on defense.
Yeah, I'd love to see them make a trade at the deadline tomorrow on the defensive side of the football. I think corner maybe and/or defensive tackle. Their next 3 weeks will determine their season, right? I mean, they go on the road to Baltimore, playoff team. They go on the road to Chargers, playoff team. They go on the Steelers. So I think the AFC is going to come down to this screen. I think Buffalo, Houston, Kansas City, and Baltimore are going to win their division, okay? Then there's 3 other spots for 4 teams. Cincinnati's 1. I think the Steelers are 1. I think the Chargers are 1. And I think the Colts are 1.
The Cowboys-Falcons yesterday. An interesting game in the early window. It's Dak and company trying to make something happen. Dan, there were desperate teams. They're doing desperate things. A 4th down early. They go for it. What do we think of the play?
Poor situational coaching. The Cowboys, there's 2 defenders that are left outside the offensive tackle. You're running into an outnumbered situation. Poor play call in that moment.
Frustration starting to show for Mike McCarthy. Meanwhile, 4th down the other way, and it's a touchdown.
Yeah, it's not understanding what the Falcons are trying to do. Pick and center rub down the sideline. Everybody for the Cowboys runs into each other.
Now, next Cowboys drive, they do get a scoring play here. How about the catch from Rico Dowdle in the end zone?
Yeah, I love the competitiveness, the toughness out of Dak Prescott. Nothing is going well for this Cowboys offense, certainly their football team. He keeps this play alive. Scramble, scramble, scramble. Try to find somebody open in the end zone. Dumps it to Dowdle. Phenomenal phenomenal concentration by Rico Dowdle.
So it's a 14-10 Atlanta lead at halftime. First possession of the second half. Cowboys on their own side of the field. What is this?
That's ridiculous is what that is.
What?
4th and 2, it's ridiculous. Because you can foul that guy all the way down the field. There's no such thing as pass interference.
That leads to this. Ray McLeod for a touchdown. Falcons go up 21-10. They would go on to win it 27-21, and then adding injury to insult. This is Dak late in the 3rd. He would say post-game he injured his hamstring on a 5-yard scramble on the play before, then felt something pop here. They'll have an MRI today. But things go from bad to much, much worse. And look at Dak on the sideline. If you're a lip reader, you have a fairly good idea of what he said. And frankly, he's right. Cowboys lose. Jerry, talk to me.
We might do something this week.
We could,
yes,
be a trade? Yes, it takes to tango, but we've got some things in the middle. We're gonna do everything we can at all times to improve this team, and in our judgment, if what you have to give up helps improve it, we'll do it. I know everybody understands. I don't think I have to say it, but we'll go for it.
We'll go for it. He sounds like a man who's in a mood to buy between now and 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon. Is that the right approach, Dan?
No, they should sell. This team's closer to being a top 5 draft pick team than making the playoffs. There's not one move that is going to help this football team. There's not 2 or 3 moves that are going to help this football team. This is a team right now that is sloppy, they're undisciplined, they're poorly coached, they're subpar talent. They get absolutely boat raced in the 3rd quarter. They've been outscored 46 points in the 3rd quarter. I think offensively they don't play with a lot of detail. I think they have poor spacing, and they can't get to the quarterback on defense. So there's just not a lot of good that comes from this football team.
I don't think they should invest in this team. I really don't. However, I think he will. I think he will. I could see a guy like Travis Etienne or something like that coming to Dallas. And I'll tell you why. He doesn't want this thing to implode because, quite honestly, it's heading that direction. When you hear, Greeny, you brought it up about Ezekiel Elliott.
Zeke Elliott, for those who don't know, wasn't there yesterday, didn't travel with the team, disciplinary reasons. Seemed to miss some meetings, whatever the case may be. He's not there for disciplinary reasons. You got basically every team every player on the entire team has a podcast in which they say whatever it is they want. They violate basically every rule of locker room etiquette, up to and including listing the 10 best quarterbacks in the NFL and not naming their own, who happens to have the biggest contract in the history of the National Football League. So, Rex, when you say it's in danger of imploding, I'm not sure how it hasn't already imploded.
Well, I mean, it's heading that direction.
Right.
I'm telling you. But I think right now, the one message you would send is like, hell, the owner's not giving up on the season. Maybe that's a message. If you think a guy is out there that would fit your future moving forward. But again, it's easy to say don't do anything but that's not Jerry Jones, guys. Jerry Jones is, to me, he's competitive as hell. And the thing that bothers me the most is that this is a team that's acting like a bunch of damn individuals, like a star on your helmet. It's all about you. The hell it is. It's about your football team. And they got to somehow come together. And right now you see it all splintered in different directions. And they play that way. They're playing like independent contractors. You got special teams, offense, defense. That's all they care about is that, instead of comparing about the football team trying to win as a team.
Part of that also is because the coach in Dallas, A, is rarely as empowered as the coaches are in other places, and B, has never been less so than right now when everyone knows Mike McCarthy is in the last year of his contract. So when he gets up in front of the team and says, guys, this is how we're going to save this thing. Look, he's a good coach, to the point you made earlier. We knock him all the time. I don't think he's Vince Lombardi, but he's a good coach. And he's smashing the thing. He's still out there fighting and trying. But Dan, when everyone knows he's gone at the end of the season anyway, why is anyone in that room paying attention to him?
Well, the players aren't stupid either. They're on the sidelines in the games. Listen, Mike McCarthy's won a Super Bowl. He's a very good coach in the history of this league. Greeny, these players stand there and they watch the stuff that the Falcons are doing. Why can't we do that? They watch the stuff.
What is it? What specifically?
Scheme. Why can't we get an advantage? Why can't plays be easier for us to be made? I've talked about this for 2 years now. I've talked about this from the start of the season. You watch Atlanta's offense and you sit there and as a player, you're sitting there going, I would love to do that. And then think about their scheme offensively and the lack of detail, the lack of spacing, okay? This is poor spacing when it comes to your football team. I want you to pay attention to the flat guy right now who's standing on the 20 and CeeDee Lamb. They're standing on top of each other, essentially. There's no distribution vertically or horizontally, okay? That's poor. Number two, if you got your back squared shoulders downhill right now, there's a hole on 3rd and 1. But since he's going laterally, he's going to miss the hole. That's a 3rd and 1. That's not a conversion. This is a bubble screen when your slot receiver's looking out to the top of the screen instead of watching the nickel. You're throwing a basic play that guy has the wrong declaration. And then 4th and run, jet sweep. I was always taught 2 guys outside the offensive tackle, you kill the play. Right. You don't run it because you can't take care of both of them. The tight end takes care of one, and you don't out-leverage him when it comes to that stuff. So as a player, you're sitting there. Listen, the talent needs to get elevated. There's no doubt. But who have they lost to the past couple weeks? They've lost to the Falcons. Really cool offensive scheme that makes it easier for players. Who did they lose to last week?
They got destroyed.
They lost to the 49ers. Really cool offensive scheme. The Detroit. If you're the Cowboys, you're sitting there almost like, I got to do it all myself.
Because of the coaching, you're going to tell me the answer is yes.
Both of them. Yeah. There's Jerry Jones. There's one of 2 ways. There's 2 ways to fix this football team. You either get a different scheme or you get different players. I tell you, you need both.
Well, and the thing that gets me is like the one thing I see about this football team. Like, look, the team is playing. Like, it's not like they're not playing with effort.
Sure.
They are playing with effort. But there's a difference between playing with effort and enthusiasm. I don't see any enthusiasm on that. It's like, what the heck? Like, where you see the other teams, like those other teams you mentioned, are just the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, they can't wait to play. Right now, these guys are just like, oh, shoot, let's hope it goes well. And if it doesn't, what happens? Now they start imploding, you know. And so to me, that's what needs to change. And as a coach, And you're right. Everybody knows that McCarthy's a lame duck coach.
Yes.
The whole staff is.
Yep.
All right. Some of them need the damn be. All right. But there's a lot of good coaches on that staff. And so they got to somehow rally themselves first and then let it bleed into that team.
They are the worst third quarter football team in the NFL. They've been outscored in the third quarter by 46 points.
Oh, by the way, their quarterback may really be hurt. Dak is going to have an MRI on his hamstring today. We'll see. We certainly hope that he is okay. But the things he was saying after the game did not make it sound good. We'll wait and see. C.D. Lamb is also having an MRI today. So things going from bad to worst in a hurry in Dallas. We'll have more on that as we go. But let's continue with our Sunday superlatives next. Rex, what team impressed you the most yesterday?
The Arizona Cardinals. And I'm telling you right now, I know the Detroit Lions are everybody's hot team. Well, this looks like the Lions did 2 years ago when nobody on the planet wanted to play them. This team is physical as hell. They pound you with running the football. They had 216 yards against this 85 Bear defense, or this one. And they also got after your quarterback. 6 quarterback sacks against Caleb Williams. Made him look like a rookie. Not a very good one.
We're going to talk a lot about the Bears coming up. Dan, what was the most ridiculous thing from the weekend?
Everyone at home, pay attention to this. This is the most ridiculous thing you'll hear all week. Jared Goff has not thrown an incompletion to Amon-Ra St. Brown since September. They've completed their last 30 straight pass attempts in games, not on air. That is absolutely absurd. I've never heard of anything like that in the history of the NFL.
We'll have more.
But you can't just throw to one receiver. Oh, yes, you can.
Apparently you can.
My favorite moment of the day yesterday for a variety of reasons was this. This is the Drake May play that he keeps alive, and ultimately throws the touchdown that sends this game to overtime where they would lose to Tennessee. So it's a great play. By the way, Drake May, you put him in the right situation, he's going to be really good.
Yeah.
He looks excellent. But if we have a chance to show this play one more time, because now I can't unsee it. Cindy, if we have the ability to show it again, the offensive lineman for the Patriots, number 74, his name is Michael Jordan. He brings new meaning to the term Air Jordan on this play. Just watch him. He's on the left side of the line. He never touches a human being as this play goes on. He's just there. He never touches. I don't know that he's doing anything wrong. I'm not sophisticated enough to know, but he doesn't touch anyone. He's just standing there.
Let me have this guy's back.
Yeah.
I get your point. I actually think he does.
I don't know if he's doing anything wrong.
No, he's not doing anything wrong. It's a three-man rush.
But I can't stop watching it. He never touches anyone on the whole play.
New meaning to Air Jordan.
Yeah, he's Michael. His name is Michael Jordan. He on that play was Air Jordan.
I think he's doing the right thing.
Did he do the right thing?
Yes,
what?
it's
just
a three-man.
Standing there.
It's a three-man rush by Tennessee. So you're like, there's only so many guys to block. He has to do walk the fine line of protecting, but also is Drake running? Because once Drake runs, you want to go block. But if you go block and Drake ends up throwing, it's an
By the way,
illegal man
this play.
downfield.
You know why I hated the play?
Why?
Because this kid for New England is a stud.
He's great.
His quarterback's a stud.
But
I hate to see it.
I don't want to get the impression or give the impression I'm criticizing Michael Jordan on this play. I have no idea. That might be his whole role on the play.
You know his nickname's Air. You know it is.